Hello there, I'm Shakey, and today we play as the Divine Mandate of Siberia, an exemplary nation led by so two exemplary men. Our buddy Men here is both a most devout priest and one of the most progressive leaders in Russia. We'll have to fight a few more challenges though on our way to success. Elsewhere in the world, Martin Bormann has reunited Germany's sphere, except for one notable outlier, but that's its own issue. The Burgundians probably doing very interesting things. Robert F. Kennedy is currently the head of the OFN, a Sokdem in a very interesting organization of free nations. We've just finished going through the great temptations of our time. We only gave into one small one, which doesn't really matter that much, but we made it through alive. No need to worry about a coup. And now we only have to give in to one more necessary sin, which is growing our army to defend ourselves. Because our neighbor right here to the west, they're also anarchists like us, but conflict with them may be inevitable because they see things from a slightly different perspective. Yeah, the focus they are working towards right now is an army for liberation. They are definitely planning something. I wish we could see eye to eye, but that might not be our fate. And in Western Russia, the two states are currently doing things far less than wholesome, stuff that we would never consider doing. Oh, and we've got a message from one of our brothers in the West. OMSK condemns us, unfortunately. Refugees fleeing from the vengeance-obsessed lands administered by OMSK have notified us of internal propaganda being distributed in their territory. Apparently, we're little more than rapacious warlords here to profit off the dark age of Russia, yet simultaneously, we're naive idealists who are incapable of making hard choices needed to ensure Russia's survival in the face of the Great Trial. Well, I'm sure we'll be able to make the hard choices when the time comes. Well, maybe not what choices they're wanting us to make, honestly, but Scotland lost a war to England in record time. Usually they hold on for a while, but I guess they couldn't resist the communism today. And I've never seen this guy get elected in America in TNO yet. Barry Goldwater. I guess people got a little tired of RFK. And in Europe, Serbia also became a social democracy and has isolated itself from both Italy and Germany. And the Free Territory has decided to pursue aggressive actions against us. Unfortunately, we are much weaker than they are. They have around 600,000 men in the field. We barely have more than 300,000. If we stay on the defensive, we may find success. I hope. Divisions are good. We have some good doctrines and we have air support, which is all I can really ask for right now. Difference in manpower is slowly disappearing due to their incompetence in one encirclement we got here. They're no match for our very holy cause. Wait, America recognizes the OMSK government? That's not very good. Dmitry Azov has made promises of responsible military action. Yeah, I wouldn't believe that. And they've been encircled in the south. They'll soon be encircled again in the north. This will hopefully be able to end this. We're getting very, very close. There we go, Siberia proper, united under the divine mandate. Many more souls blessed by its glory. Thus the time has come for the devout to spread their arms and embrace our land entire. Despite the pain and hardships that is to follow, let us not mistake the upcoming tribulations for the end of days, but the birth of a holy Russia. Now we will finally bridge the gap between a kingdom of God on earth and an ear to the faithless. We'll do the nice thing. We're just that good, you know. And now we'll also invade the Kazakh Khanate just to give us a strategic advantage, you know, because we either have to become the manipulators or we will see ourselves become manipulated by the other forces at play here in Russia. And another conquest completed. The burning fields gave no images of power and glory to the mind of our father. However, he continued to stare as he knew this was no way for mankind to act to one another. to tear each other apart without retraction. One day, this world would see the last of its war and embrace one another. Yeah, for sure, one of the interesting leaders. There's a lot of similarities between him and Tabaritsky. Not like that. It's not like insane, but it's interesting how they both took the entire thing in completely different direction. I guess Tabaritsky's loyalty was mainly to the Tsar and not faith, but it is interesting, these two compared to each other. I guess also, notably, these two are kind of at a stalemate now. I don't really think any fighting's going on for the most part. They still have larger armies than we do, but yeah, this war's got to be weakening them quite a bit. Yeah, see, they've barely lost any men. Their combined losses are less than our losses, not even counting the losses of the anarchists. And the Spanish Republic managed to win in Spain. I've never actually seen them win, I don't think. It's always been the Phalangists or the Union. Now that my invasion is imminent, it looks like they finally decided to do something. These are the first battles I've seen in a year, probably, or more, on this front. Well, I took a different approach. I usually invest a lot into tanks and make the glorious Chad tanks. But this time I decided to do something different for my army composition, and I made really good infantry with a lot of casts that I actually worked to build. Unfortunately, it won't really matter in the end because this war will be pathetically easy, but maybe we can use it in the future. Potentially. Yeah, this isn't even a challenge. The cast just makes it even more unfair, but like either way, this would have happened. The only way this wouldn't go like this is if there was some sort of mechanic where they could unite against me, kind of like what the Russian warlords can do when Goering invades. But the people of both these nations would probably much rather capitulate to me than capitulate to each other, or ally with each other. Yeah, and surprisingly, the war against the anarchists was probably one of the more difficult ones, whereas this last war, that was very pathetically easy. But yeah, I think we're a little more than a divine mandate of just Siberia now. So yeah, we will finish this up. Divine Russia. The churches of Russia sing hymns of praise as the divine mandate of Russia spreads its embrace across the shattered motherland, unifying the disparate peoples of Russia once more. Beginning as a peasant rebellion in the Far East, international commentators have found themselves baffled at the mandate's rise to power, of which the only readily apparent cause can be found in one Alexander Men, the unofficial leader of the mandate. Another Russia, united at last. Of course, there still may be some loose ends to tie up here, even though this is as far as the game will naturally let us progress. So we'll see what happens in the future. Maybe this might just continue a little further. Who knows? Yeah, maybe. It all went well last time, yeah. But who wouldn't like a good war against Germany, whether they have nuclear weapons or not? It would be interesting. But yes, and until then, yeah.